Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Professional People Podcast. I'm your host, Dan Diederich, and on this episode of the show, I have on Connor Stoll from Preferred Dealer Solutions. Connor and I both went to Aquinas together and are both now working in the family business, so we talk about that and all things insurance and reinsurance. It's a great episode, and I hope you enjoy. All right, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Professional People Podcast. I got a fellow Aquinas graduate with me here, Connor Stoll. I remember back in entrepreneurship class at Aquinas with King Felix Pereira, our professor, we were both in the same group talking about working in our family's insurance and reinsurance businesses. And here we are a couple years later into it. And Connor, why don't you tell everyone what you got going on over at Preferred Dealer Solutions?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Dan, first of all, thank you for having me. It's awesome to be here and to talk to another Aquinas College graduate. Preferred Dealer Solutions, we've been in business for about 11 years now. And we do a whole bunch of different things for the automotive industry. So we have Preferred Dealer Solutions, we have Specialty Dealer Insurance, and then we have Precision Claims. And all those companies work together to provide our dealers with what they need. So we work in the buy here, pay here in the independent market in reinsurance and F&I products. We started out of the basement of my parents' house just with Precision Claims. So, we would be having dinner and the phone would ring, the claims line would ring and they'd have to go down and answer it real quick. But over the years, we've expanded to do all sorts of different things. So now we have our own line of Preferred Dealer Solutions, F&I products that independent auto dealers and buy here, pay here dealers can sell across the country. So that's kind of what we're expanding into, what we're diving into a little bit more. But yeah.
So for those people who don't really understand what reinsurance is, can you kind of give them a broad background so they can have a better understanding of what kind of products that you're offering?
Yeah. So exactly, absolutely. So, what reinsurance is, your typical warranty program, right? We can use Ford as an example. Every single car that they sell comes with a warranty, right? And Ford gives that away to all their customers. Those contracts earn out based on time and mileage, right? So let's call it a 1 year, 12,000 mile contract, right? After that contract is earned out based on time and mileage, right? So 12 months or 12,000 miles. Whatever's left of those funds is the auto dealers, they get to do with whatever they like with that, right? So that's what we set up for these buy here, pay here dealers, is their own warranty programs. And they can put limited warranties, service contracts, GAP, CPI, all sorts of different products in there. And they essentially take control of that customer, right? And they get to give them the experience that they want. So the whole reinsurance side for me is to give those customers, those auto dealers customers, what they really deserve, right? The customer service that they deserve. When you pay $1,000 for a service contract, you really want it to be paid and, your claims to be handled properly. So that's what reinsurance is. We set up that process for them. They can take loans and distributions from the funds after it's earned out and that type of thing. It's a really good way for auto dealers to expand and to kind of become the bank for themselves rather than rely on other financial institutions for their floor planning or, whatever they might need.
That's awesome. So is your ideal prospect for, say, those auto dealerships?
Sure. Yeah. So we have two different types of prospects, if you will, right? We have buy here, pay here dealerships. We have independent dealerships. And then we also have finance companies, right? So the finance company is generally tied to a buy here, pay here dealer. So we can work with all three. If we're talking about a buy here, pay here, an independent or a finance company, if you will, you want to be around 40 cars a month, right? So you're putting out 40 vehicles with 40 warranties. And that's where it really starts to make sense for auto dealers, right? With an independent dealer, if you're selling 30 and then you have a 50% penetration rate on some service contracts, you can get to that number. The same thing with the finance company. So your ideal prospect, right? The whole team is on board. They really want to embrace this program and take care of their customer the right way. It's also important that the dealer has plenty of cash flow, right? Because they're going to be taking a lot of profits out of their dealership, right, and putting it in their reinsurance company. So that can be something we can work with them on if they need to be on a payment plan or something along those lines. But we can work with anybody. in the auto industry. That's what's cool about our new service contract and, F&I program.
That is super cool. And it's kind of interesting just being on the property and casualty insurance side to hear what you guys do for those auto dealers. I'm curious, what does your claims process look like? Could you kind of walk us through an example of what a claim would look like and how you guys handle it?
Sure. Yeah. So, if your customer buys a warranty or a service contract, whatever it might be, whatever product, when they have an issue, right, they call our phone number. And it goes right to my claims administrators. We don't sub this work out to anybody else. They're right in the house. So, I could walk downstairs right now and have a conversation, with one of them, which is key. And so the process works, they call in, we get that person to a repair facility. We have, shops all across the country that we work with. We have that vehicle looked at. They put an estimate together for us, right? And then we approve based on what the contract states, right? We don't wait 1 to 2 weeks or, try to ship our own parts in or, take the price down constantly. Our goal is to get that customer in and out of there as quickly as possible, right? So, we pay all of our claims within 30 minutes of getting that final repair order. And we approve all work to be done within 30 minutes of the initial estimate. Customer service is what sells more cars in the end, and gets those people to come back to you. So, if they have an issue with their car and it's resolved really quickly, they're more likely to come back to that dealer and not only purchase a car from them, maybe purchase a product from them again. So that's what we try to do is, create customer loyalty with that claims process and just make it easy.
For sure. And you don't have any hands-on like communications with the actual client of the auto dealers, or do you?
Nope. So, we communicate with the customer as much as needed. There can be an issue there where we get the customer too involved, if you will. We have people on staff who work here who are, certified mechanics, right? So they understand how vehicles work and how, repair processes work, that type of thing. So we try to keep the customer out of it, but our goal is to keep them informed and know when their car is going to be done. It's just a little bit easier that way.
Mm-hmm. So you said you have certified mechanics on staff. What does your whole kind of team structure look like? And then what is your specific role in the company?
Sure. Yeah. So our claim side is kind of a separate thing from Preferred Dealer Solutions, right? We can offer that to any auto dealer. We also lease our software out for dealers to use and manage their own claims processes. So we have our claims administrators downstairs, and then we also have a claims manager. And our claims manager, Matt, he used to run a large repair facility as a certified mechanic. So he really understands how vehicles work. Twice a month, he does a little training seminar with all of our staff downstairs. And he has models of different engines and transmissions and things like that. And he goes through and he explains to them how it works, so that they can, communicate with the shop a little bit more effectively, if you will. As far as my capacity, I work for Preferred Dealer Solutions for the most part. And I'm an account executive. So I go out and I sell reinsurance and our F&I program to independent and buy here, pay here dealers. So majority of my work life is on the road, and kind of traveling around and flying around the country to meet with people.
And then we kind of alluded to it earlier, but your dad is the founder and CEO, correct?
Correct. Yep. Yeah. So my dad, my mom and my dad, my mom is the CFO actually.
Okay.
They started it together out of the basement, like I had said before. And, he used to be a direct write for Zurich. So he worked in this space before. He worked with all the new car franchise dealers, and he set them up with their own reinsurance programs. Pretty much the same thing that we do for this other industry now. So he's been in it a long time. He knows all the lingo and all the people, all that type of thing. But yeah, so it's just, me, my dad, my mom, and then we have one other sales guy, Ron Robinson. So we tried to keep it tight. We hired all of our salespeople from within. Ron used to work at Precision Claims for several years, so he understands all that process. I did the same thing as well. As I was a claims administrator, and then I was, a business development center executive, and then I was an assistant for a long time. That way you can really grasp the whole process, right? From reinsurance to claims to paying the claims to, all those different aspects. So yeah, all of our companies work in conjunction together to create the whole system.
That's awesome, dude. I'm just laughing over here because it's so similar to my story. My mom and dad started our agency 25 years ago as first they worked and met at GM Insurance, working in the big corporate side, and then we're doing nationwide direct writing, and now we're independent. So it's just so funny to see the similarities of our stories and our family businesses, and insurance is in the name of both. It's too good, man. What has been kind of what is your biggest benefit of working for the family business, and what is your biggest challenge working for the family business?
Sure. I mean, there's benefits that come with being in a family. I mean, if you need a day off or something, you can probably swing it, the boss. There's a pride benefit as well. You're always kind of working for something for yourself or for your family, which is kind of special. But at the same time, there's pressure that comes with that, and I think sometimes people don't recognize that. You always want to do the best that you can, and you want to bring on as much business as you can. But things take time. So I guess if I had a piece of advice for somebody that is just going into a family business, is that, it's very rewarding, but it also can be stressful. So, don't be too hard on yourself,
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, but that's a good point. It's like you find so much pride in working for the family, but there is so much pressure because there's no worse feeling than letting your parents down. And when your parents and boss are the same people, it's a double whammy. So There's definitely that pressure to perform. And then also, with other people in the company, there's pressure on you to, fill those shoes or be like them and grow into those shoes. So I definitely feel where you're coming from.
Yeah, exactly. And being in the reinsurance industry is very it's an older generation, if you will. Most of the guys selling it are 55 or older. So me being a 23-year-old, just out of college graduate, that adds a little bit of a complexity to it as well. So, being very knowledgeable of whatever your family-owned business is, and really diving in creates success, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the same boat over here. The PNC average age of an agency owner is 63 right now, so it's up there. But I think for me, one of the things that what you just alluded to is just having the confidence in knowing your shit. So you got to know what you're talking about, but then have the confidence to say that in front of people who are 40 years more experienced than you and know what you're saying and portray that you know what you're saying as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So what does the future look like with you? And you got a young start here at Preferred Dealer Solutions, and you've kind of hopped around and got a grasp of the different departments and the different things you guys are doing. What do you see kind of the future and evolution of your guys' business looking like?
Yeah, I mean, everybody wants to expand, right? Everybody wants to continue growing, which is what we've consistently done over the last 11 years. My dad personally has never gone out and sold himself. He's been all off of just referrals. So, we're expanding now. We're going out and we're actively selling. I'm doing different marketing campaigns, all those different types of things, and learning as I go. Because I'm not a marketing guy by any means. But with this whole new, Preferred Dealer Solutions F&I product side, that's where this is going, I think. So we can then offer that to independent auto dealers across the country, which really opens up, a huge market. So within the next several weeks, we're going to be launching our own e-contracting platform, so that dealers can just log in and they can sell service contracts, limited warranties, and gap policies right off of our website, right? And that gets, just sent to us right away. It pulls right from their bank account, all that type of stuff. So just ease of use and, expansion into different independent markets is really where we're headed. Our whole goal here is to ensure growth, increase profitability, and create long-term customer loyalty. I say that every day. That's what's important to me. and is important to a dealer becoming more successful over time. We're here for the dealers and for their customers. If the dealers are growing, we're growing. And if their customers are happy, they're coming back and they're buying another car from them. So we just like to create that, that big circle of, positivity and people just being satisfied with the service that they're getting.
For sure, dude. That's awesome. I'm kind of curious, when you stepped into the business after graduating from Aquinas, how was your guys' technology, social media, and what have you had to do as the young kid coming in to kind of bring that up to a 2021 level?
Sure. Yeah. We were really far behind, I would say. Not really far behind because, the reinsurance industry isn't huge on social media and stuff. But LinkedIn is a big thing for auto dealers, so getting us a LinkedIn page and trying to post every now and then is something I've been doing. Our digital footprint with our website needed to be updated. It was about, I would say, 8 or 10 years old. And we didn't have all the information on there with all the services and products that we provide. So I would go out and sell, right? And people would be like, I'm going to go check out the website. Well, if they went and checked out the website, not most of the stuff I was saying wasn't portrayed there. So the first thing we needed to do was to update ourselves to the time of, what we have and what we can offer to our customers. As far as social media goes, I use Facebook, a limited amount, and I use LinkedIn. The bigger side for us, I believe, is just the website, right? The frontward facing website to dealers, and then the e-contracting platform that we're building right now. That's very important to dealers today, is that they don't have to handwrite anything, and it's all quick and easy. So we did have to do a good amount. Our website got built by a company by the name of LaunchKit. Kevin Camus. They do phenomenal work over there. Start to finish, they help you from designing the website to taking headshots to if you need promotional materials. If you're a brand new startup business and you have no idea what to do, these guys are what you need. Every step of the way, no communication issues. We always knew what we needed to do. So if you're looking to upgrade, really go out there and find somebody that knows what they're doing, and find somebody who has everything that you need.
Just call Kevin. Get out. Just call
Kevin. I don't want to make too much of a plug, but he's awesome, and he does phenomenal work.
No, I mean, we were talking about it before. Both of us are friends with Kevin, and just from following him on social media, if you just go look at his page, you can tell he's legit. He knows what he's doing. So shout out to Kevin at LaunchKit. New name for them. Good job, Kevin. You're doing good stuff. How was, I do want to go back to kind of you coming into the business and having to bring more technology. For me, I had to do the same kind of thing where it was, we had social media accounts, weren't posting regularly, had a website, it wasn't really fresh looking. And so just kind of coming in and shaking those things up and getting it more modern feeling was what I had to do. And I'm just curious, as you get to learn more and more and you get into that stuff, do you think that I use Facebook and LinkedIn too, mostly for my business marketing stuff. Do you think that those two sites are kind of the best for business marketing? Have you seen so far? That's kind of what I feel.
Yeah, I think so, but I also think it could be dependent upon what industry you work in, right? Instagram could be perfect for you. I don't know, but you're not going to find any auto dealers on there looking for reinsurance,
Right.
So in my opinion, I think LinkedIn is kind of the most powerful. As far as, your side goes, I could see where Facebook could come in as well. But for me, I would have to direct target so hard, it would be so difficult to just find an auto dealer.
Right. No, I think B2B LinkedIn is definitely the move, especially that's where companies are and people expect to see business stuff on there.
Exactly. Yeah. So if
I
you
think
don't
that's a huge thing is like on Facebook and stuff, people get annoyed when they see too much advertising. I think LinkedIn, people kind of expect it. That's what it's for.
Yeah. It's almost like you're filtering through the advertisements to figure out what's important to you,
Yeah. What else have you seen that's been working, coming into a young as a young salesman, what kind of tactics have you used to kind of set yourself apart from people who might have more experience than you?
Sure. You know, it sounds stupid, but just walking, I mean, I cold call a lot, right? So I'm just walking into dealerships and they're not expecting me to come. They don't want me to come. They don't really want to see me, you know? So at that point, you want to come in and you want to be very positive, you know, and you want to have that good energy. That's what I really try to bring. On top of that, you know, if you're young, take some time and get your knowledge up, you know, read everything, all your promotional materials you have, understand every part of your program so that I'll get back to you on that, you know, just try to have everything there. And that gives you more credibility as a younger salesman, I think. In being honest, you know, for me, I have a direct connection to this company and I can tell them how things are going to work. You know, this is how I do business. You know, not everybody has that, but trying to gain that or connect with the company that you're working for is going to make you more influential as a salesman, I guess you would say.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head when you said you got to be honest as a young salesman, because people can smell bullshit from a mile away. I think that when you don't know, like you said, it's okay to get back to someone. And I think that just being able to have the confidence to say that and not feel like, I remember when I was first starting out of college and, you know, you get those first couple questions you don't know the answer to, and you feel like, oh man, I should know this. But, you know, there's so much stuff that goes into any industry that you're not going to be able to know absolutely everything. And just having the courage in yourself to be able to say, I don't know, I think goes a long way for young salesmen. I think that people are just afraid to say that they don't know something.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, something to add too is nowadays people don't add to their tool belt, if you will, right? So getting all these other people that maybe they're not in insurance, but maybe they do something else that your clients might need, right? Being able to connect that dealer or that customer, that prospect with, hey, I know this isn't what you're looking for right now, but this is something else that you need, right? So I'm always trying to connect people and auto dealers with different finance companies, right, that I know, and different other agents that I know that can help them with the problem that they're having, even if I don't work with them, you know, and getting some more tools like that as a young person, I think can only be beneficial.
I totally agree. I've talked about it a few times on the podcast, but I joined a BNI, Business Networking International group right when I started. And what that is pretty much just exactly what they said. They pick a profession, someone from each profession, and then you meet once a week. And that's really been a help, just being able to say, oh, I got a mover, I got a realtor, I got a banker, you know, just having those things in your arsenal to say, if I don't know, I know somebody who does know. And I think that is a great point by you. That goes a long, long way to people.
Yeah. And especially if you're younger, you know, too, because they don't expect you to have some connections, you know. So if you can get them something, they'll give you some credibility for sure.
Yeah, and then what goes around comes around, the giver's gain. So if you're giving referrals out to these people that you've networked with, then you're more likely to get something back from them in return.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
So, playing the game, baby, playing the game. Let's see what else I got for us here. Let's see. What is one? Let's close it up here. Let's see. What's one tip you have for professional people out there?
Yeah. So, you know, I think I kind of touched on it a little bit earlier, but things take time, especially if you're a sales guy, right? And you're younger. And today with social media and all the things that we're influenced by, you just see people being successful, you know. You don't really see them working up to it or grinding necessarily. So I think, especially if you're a sales guy, you know, I don't know what other industry, I'm sure this applies to many, but you're not going to become an overnight success, you know. Some people certainly will, but taking your time and planning out in 2 years, I want to have this many accounts, and in 3 years, I want to add this many contracts, or, you know, whatever your metric is. Setting goals and working towards those goals instead of sales can be very up and down, right? You have the highest highs and the lowest lows every single day. At least I do, you know. I'm sure there's plenty of other guys like that.
Man, 100%.
So looking long term instead of letting those highs and lows every day kind of eat you up, that's kind of the tip that I give myself every day, you know. But yeah, just looking towards the future is just important, and looking forward to that.
I think that's great advice. And thanks so much for coming on and sharing your story and the Preferred Dealer Solution story. If people want to contact you, all those auto dealers out there listening, where can they find that new website, and how is the best way to get in touch with you?
Yeah. So you can find it at www.preferreddealersolutions.com. There's our whole site is on there. And it kind of breaks it down for you through a drop-down menu, whether you're a buy here, pay here, or an independent dealer. So you can check that out. We also have a LinkedIn page and a Facebook page. Otherwise, you can just give us a call.
All right. Awesome. Thanks so much for coming on, Connor.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for the time, Dan.
Thanks for listening. And remember, keep it professional, people.